to the subject, the consumer and the designer, VDIS10017. This subject will be delivered by me, by Ron Newman. I'm the CEO of Virtue Design Institute, and I've been teaching design for 20 years. I practiced design roughly for 20 years just prior to that. So in this slideshow, to get here, you've no doubt gone through our online campus and have arrived at the subject. And my aim is to lead you through our expectations for this subject and for the term of study. Each lecture will be in two parts, each lecture in this subject. First there will be a short video explanation, and then there will be a longer slideshow which will contain all of the body of information, the content that you will need for each of the individual subject matters. On the left-hand side, you'll see a screen are the menus, and that will take you to different aspects of the class, and they are all self-explanatory. Lectures, assessment tasks, subject outlines, and so on. The forum is an important place. That's a place where you will find discussions of various projects, tasks, and ideas, and I encourage you all to subscribe to the threads. Make sure at the top corner of each thread you'll see a subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe and you can become involved in the conversations. The first lecture will be Flying Over Las Vegas by Stefano Mazzano. It's not a lecture presented by him, it will be presented by me, but it's an overview of consumer behaviour. This lecture is one that he gave back in 1993 at a very important conference in Glasgow, and it still today influences how we as designers behave. Week by week there will be activities for you to undertake, and there is a week-by-week guide in the documents that are downloadable in the subject outline. Go ahead and download that document. I think the subject outline and the assessment tasks are four key documents that you need to have in front of you as you consider from time to time what you should do next. Each week I will set a minor task for you, something small, but that task will move towards the major projects that you do, one at 4 weeks, one at 7 weeks, and one at the 11-week end of term time. Motivation. Motivation is a really important part of what happens as a result of our designs. And there are intrinsic and extrinsic influences to motivation, and we will talk a little bit about that. And we'll talk about the notion of motivating images, and I have a couple here on this slide, and during the lecture you'll see them in larger size, and I'll set a mini project around them. A designer's guide to research. Research is always taking place around us, and it's really important that designers manage to stay in touch with research, understand how research is done, and be able to integrate with researchers and to help them to help us. And so I hope in this lecture you'll understand a little bit more about that and how it works. This is a funny cartoon, about IKEA, and part of that research lecture and part of the motivation lecture, we talk about how people behave and why they behave. And IKEA is an example, and IKEA is a project that you will be thinking about. And so in week 4, the first task is due and the second task will be discussed. And it's a case study of IKEA furniture. And so, again, have a think about it, have a look at it, and I will feed these tasks to you one by one, and I will feed your lectures to you one by one. We also obviously need to talk about marketing concepts. The key relationship between the designer and the community is through marketing. They market our products, they help us understand what products are required or requested in the market. They help us understand the market as it sits and what might be suitable for the market. And so that 4th lecture is an important one, and I hope you'll gain a lot from it. Finally, we will talk about emergent ideas in design methodology and how to arrive at ideas. This is our fifth lecture, and it'll come to you while you're undertaking your project. So I hope that this has been useful to you. Your last project will be an interesting one where we will be thinking about pakau, an activity that people undertake in their community, and a really difficult project in the sense of how do you market, how do you publicise, and how do you use design to communicate something that is not readily accepted. And so I leave you with these thoughts, and over the coming weeks you will be receiving individual lectures and you'll be receiving your assessment tasks. If you have any issues that you wish to raise with me, please don't be afraid to get onto the forum and ask a question or two. Don't be afraid to talk to your fellow students about what's going on, or to the visitors in the studio, other staff members who have expertise in this area. And so thank you very much, and I'll sign off now.